Hi there, Debbie Kershaw here. Just popping on a little bit early for this Workshop Wednesday tutorial, just so that I can get a chance to make sure that we are live across all of our platforms and that I can give people a chance to join. Welcome if you're joining us on repeat or playback, but this is a live tutorial, so I will be talking and interacting with people. Please feel free to ask me questions if you need to. If you're there, please do say hello. And we will be going ahead with the tutorial at 1 p.m. Hi Julia, how are you? Please do say hello if you are joining me today. I enjoy my hellos and our chats as much as I enjoy the tutorials, to be honest. Good morning, Wildcat, how are you? It is a sunny afternoon here in the UK, so I need to say good morning or good afternoon or evening wherever you are in the world. Now the sun is going in and out a little bit, so if you see some sort of changing light, that's what's going on. So we've got a really good tutorial for you today, not too difficult, really relaxing. Good afternoon, Anita, how are you? Hi Julie. Not too taxing, and it's quite repetitive, but really beautiful bracelet, and you do get written instructions with this as well, so that's really helpful. Hi Julie. Good morning Ruby, how are you? How is everybody? Have you been beading? What have you been up to? Hi Shelley. It's 9:56 p.m. Shelley says. She's in Brisbane. So good evening to you, Shelley. Thank you for joining us. I hope you've had a lovely day. Mind-blowing how we can just communicate, isn't it? Technology with each other from around the world. It's absolutely amazing. That's one of the wonderful parts of technology. Sharing our knowledge and like-minded people. Absolutely lovely. So I've popped on a little bit early. If you've just joined me, I'm Debbie Kershaw. I'm here on behalf of Spot Rotten Beads, and I've just popped on a bit early so that I can say hello and give everybody a chance to join me. We've got a lovely tutorial today that's been designed by Puka. Hi Pamela, how are you? And we're going to be using the Amos beads. Now I hope I'm saying that correctly. If I said Amos, it sounds a bit Yorkshire, doesn't it? Amos, but I think it's Amos. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Hi Pamela. Please do say hello if you're joining me today. Tell me where you are in the world or what you've been doing. What craft projects have you been doing? As well as my beading, I've also been crocheting a big shawl, which I'm quite in love with. It's one of those variegated yarns that has all of the colours, really autumnal, with sort of a flower pattern on the bottom. So I'm really getting into that in these, as the nights grow in here in the UK, to do my crochets. Really find it really relaxing. Ruby says she may have to pop out in a little bit. We can always watch the rest on catch up, Ruby. Thanks for joining us though. Just waiting a couple more minutes now before we start the tutorial. Please feel free to ask me any questions and I'll do my very best to answer them while I'm on the live. But if I do miss them because I'm concentrating on what I'm doing, then I will do my best to get back to you afterwards and answer those questions. Julie, hi Julie, you're on a day off today. It's sunny in Fife, is it? Is it lovely? Yeah, it's sunny here in Yorkshire as well. And you've caught me live today. Oh, well, thank you for joining me. It's lovely to see you. Oh, making a paper quilted wedding card. Do you know, I have so much respect for paper crafters. I used to work on a channel a few years ago where there was a lot of paper crafters, and I used to have to present some shows with them, and the things that you can do with paper is absolutely amazing. Hi Christine, you made it this week. Lovely to see you. How are you doing? So we've got lots of lovely people joining us from all over the world today. I'm here in West Yorkshire, in sort of the north of England, if you're joining us from abroad, and we're just coming into autumn or fall here in the UK now, and this is one of my absolute favourite seasons. And I must say that these bracelets today did remind me a lot of like the falling leaves and the falling petals, these little Amos beads. I really like them. Lisa from Devon, she says it's sunny. Every time I go to Devon it's sunny. I think it's always sunny in Devon. I think it never rains. Hi Jeanette from the USA, how are you? Would I be saying good morning or good evening to you? Not quite sure, but thank you for joining me. Right, it's 1 o'clock. Shall we get started? So my name's Debbie Kershaw and I'm one of the guest designers here at Spoilt Rotten Beads. And today I'm going to be showing you a lovely bracelet that I haven't designed myself, but it's actually been designed by Puka. And it's called the Aster bracelet. Now the great thing about this bracelet is that you can download from the website, together with all of the components that I'm going to be using today in the bracelet, you can download the instructions. You can either sort of watch them on your device or you can actually print them off. Now I do love these instructions because you've got photographs. Excuse my scribblings over there, I have to write it in my own language. I can write tutorials, I'm not great at reading them. So we've got photographs there and we've also got our text, so that really comprehensive and a really great little project that you can do in a couple of hours. There's a couple of colorways that we've got on the website, but of course you can design and do this in any colorway that you like. You can have a little peruse on the website, which is spoiltrottenbeads.co.uk, and there will be a link in the chat for all of the products that I'm using today, so you can buy the bundles to make exactly what I'm making. Oh, Christine, I have a lot of those senior moments, don't worry. Yeah, you know, never mind. Right, shall I take you down to my beading mat and show you what we're going to be making? So just let me pop my instructions up there and I'm going to take you down to my beading mat. So there you go. So these are the bracelets and it's the Aster bracelet, and this is the sort of turquoise colourway. It's not quite finished, this one. I'm going to show you how to put the clasp on this one. So pretty. Hi Penelope. And then this one that you might have seen on the picture advertising the workshop, absolutely beautiful. You've got this sort of peacock oil and water effect in your Amos beads, and then you've got your little 3mm rounds and your 15 O's that make up this beautiful bracelet. And it's really slinky. Do you know what I mean by that? Like a very comfortable against the skin, very comfortable to wear. Really great movement, so sort of once you put it on you won't know it's there. Now the things that you need to make this bracelet are of course your Amos beads, and you will see the different colorways there on the website. 3mm rounds, and we've got coordinating ones here to go with whichever bundle you fancy, or maybe you've got some at home that you'd like to use. We use mostly our 15O beads, and I've got Tohos here. Oh, Pamela says the bracelets are gorgeous. Oh, I hope you make them. If you make them, do put them in the group. I love to see it when people make. Such a talented bunch you lot are. You really are. You also need a clasp of your choice and a jump ring or an extender chain, however you like to finish off. And you just need 2 11O seed beads as well. Now you could use Miyuki for this, but what I like to say is that if you're going to use Tohos for your 15Os, use Tohos for your 11s. If you're going to use Miyuki for your 15Os, use Miyuki for your 11s. It's just usually how I do things. I know not everybody. Anita says, oh, a new bead I have to look at. I know. Do you know what I love about these as well is that they look like petals, so I'm thinking of lots of floral designs that I could do in my head with these petals, or sort of falling leaf design as well. Beads and Stone says it's a bright day in Edinburgh too. Glad to catch the live. Thank you so much for joining me. It's lovely to have your company. So shall we get started? I'm going to tell you the tools that you need here. All you need is sharp scissors, a size 12 beading needle, because we're going through the 15, so a size 12 is probably best. You'll need your chosen beading thread, Fireline, Wildfire. I used £8 for this, and it seemed like it was a good fit. It gave it just the right amount of drape. Sharp scissors, I've said. You need a stop bead, and that's it really. Shall we get started? Okay. Right, let's move this out of the way, and I'm going to bring down the beads that I need. So I'm going to be working in this sort of turquoise colourway, one of my absolute favourite colours, and then I'm going to need some of my 3mm rounds, and I'm going to pop out some of my 15 O's. So it helps if I get my glasses on, then I'll be able to see what I'm doing. There I am. Okay, so I'm going to get out some of my 15Os, just pop them at the top there, and then you will need a couple of 11Os just to attach that clasp. So I'm going to put some of those out as well, just to the side. Now I've taken my size 12 beading needle and I've popped on a length of Fireline or Wildfire, whatever you like using. Just make sure that you put on a length that you're comfortable with, because you can always add thread in rather than fighting with a really long length. But I'm thinking that I probably put on about 3 times the length of my bracelet. Now the pattern does say that you need 44, yes, 44 Amos beads for this. But of course you have got a few more, so you can make it longer if you need to, or you can make it shorter to fit your wrists, and you'll have a few more left over. I think I had about 8 to 10 beads left over when I used 44, but it depends on colours and packets. But you most certainly can adjust it to your wrist size or to the wrist size of the person you're making it for. Now I popped on a stopper bead and left enough of a tail to sew in. You might want to pop on a stopper bead and leave a larger tail to attach your clasp to, so that you take your stopper bead off and do that. That's up to you, completely fine. Okay, let's get started. So we're starting off with these Amos beads, and the pattern talks a lot about the top of the bead going through the top hole and going through the bottom hole. Now these beads have 2 holes, so you have 1 hole at the top and 1 hole at the bottom. And if we think of the top of the bead as the roundest, fattest part of the bead, so if it was a petal, it would be the top of the petal and the point is the bottom. So when the pattern refers to the top hole, you want to go through the hole and the largest, widest part of the bead. Okay, so to start off with, we're going to go through the top hole of the bead, and I'm going to bring that up so that you can see it there. So you can see the 2 holes, and I've gone through the top hole, and I'm just going to pull it through like that. Okay, and then I'm going to add 3 15s, 1, 2, 3. So this is what I have on my needle, and I'm going to go back down the bottom hole. So what this does is pops on sort of a little picot on the side of the bead there, and I'll pop that down so that you can see what I mean. Okay, so you've got your Amos bead. I've gone through the top hole, popped on 3 beads and come down through the bottom hole. Hello in Greece, how are you? Thank you for joining me. And then you need to get another one of your Amos beads, and you're going to go through the top hole, hi Tanya, of your second bead. So you're always going through your top holes. It doesn't matter which way you go in, because you can turn your beads around, so that doesn't matter too much. And then you'll see that your bead will sit next to the first one that you strung on. Now you have got written and photographic instructions for this, and then we're going to add on 3 more of our 15Os and come through the bottom hole. I'll try and keep it on my mat like that. Okay, there we go. So I've come through the top hole, added my 3 15Os, and I'm going back through the same bead through the empty hole, which is the bottom hole, and give it a pull. Now there's one thing that I would tell you at this point, and it's about your tension. If you pull your tension too tight, you'll find that it sort of racks out your beads, so that they sort of sit like sort of skew whiff and all bunched together. So you want them to sit nice and flat, so that they're sort of very loose and sort of snake-like. Can you see? So that is achieved by not pulling too tightly on your thread. Now you don't want to see large gaps of your thread, but you can't there, but I've not pulled too tight, and you'll know if you are pulling too tight, because you'll start to see that these beads sort of start to all bunch together and stick up. You want them to be nice and flat and smooth. Okay, and then we're literally just going to repeat this all the way down the bracelet. So I'm going to pick up another one of my Amos beads through the top hole, and this time I'm going to pick up the 3 15Os at the same time. Drop it down to my work. So I've got a short length of beading thread here just for demonstration purposes. So this is what I have, and then I'm going to go back through the bottom hole of the same bead. Now just that bead, nothing else. Keep my finger on it and then give it a pull, and it's starting to take shape. And then I'm going to do exactly the same again. I'm going to pop on another one of my Amos beads, go through the top, drop it down, and you can see that they sit nice and snugly together, and add 3 15-ohs, 1, 2, 3, and come back down the bottom hole of the same bead. So you're only working in one bead, you're not touching any of the others, and give it a pull. Now if your bead floats out like that, it's absolutely fine. You can just hold on to the bead and give it a little pull, and they'll all travel back to where they're supposed to be, like that. Okay, so that's quite easy, and you'll see that if you pulled it too tight they'll start to stick up. You just want them to sit nice and flat. That's terrific. Oh, I'm glad. Yeah, it's a really lovely make. It's a lovely shaped bead to work with. You get a few left as well, so I'm thinking I might do something and make a flower pendant with the beads that I've got left. So once again, this is just all you do to the length of your bracelet. So we'll do a couple more rows. I'm going to go through the top of my Amos bead. I'm going to add in 3 of my 15s, 1, 2, 3, drop it down. It doesn't matter which way you've gone through your Amos bead because they're the same on both sides, and you can always just twiddle it round to face the correct direction. And then I'm coming back down through the bottom hole of the same bead. Be careful you don't catch on to the 15-ohs from the other bead that's already there, and you can see that you're starting to make a lovely pattern. So again, top hole of the Amos bead, 3 15-ohs, drop it down, sit it in where you want it to sit on your bead there, and go through the bottom hole in the same bead, like that. So we've got 2 4 6. Let's put another 2 on and we'll do a mini bracelet. Okay, so again through the top hole, 3 15-ohs, 1, 2, 3, drop it down, sit your bead where you want it to be in line so that you can work out your tension. You haven't got any threads showing. I usually like to pop my finger on it and then come back through the bottom hole there. Okay, we'll put one more on, so we've got an even number, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. We'll put one more on, so we're going to go through the top hole of the bead here. Let's move it in a bit, sit it where you want it to sit, add 3 of your 15-ohs and come out of the bottom. Now you'll keep going until you've got the length of bracelet that you want. Now the pattern says, let me pop that down there, the pattern says 44, but if that seems a little bit large for your wrist, you can use less, but just keep it an even number. You most certainly can use the items that I'm using, buy the items that I'm using today, if you go onto the Spoilt Rotten Beads website, or Juliet has just put a link in the chat. So click on that link and then scroll down and you'll be able to choose any of the bits that you want to buy to make the bracelet. And if you do make it, please do show us, because I love to see what you all make. Okay, so you keep going until your beads are either 40, you've put 44 beads on, or the length that you want, but just make sure that you're doing it in rows of 2, so even numbers. And then when you get to the end, you'll be exiting the bottom of your Amos bead. Now this is where we just add on one 11/0, and this 11/0 is so that we can attach our clasp a little bit later. So I'm going to pick up an 11/0. I'm exiting through the bottom hole of my Amos bead. I'm going to pop my 11/0 on, and I'm basically just going to go round in a circle. So I'm going to pick it up. So I'm just going to go back down the bottom hole of the same bead. Get my finger out of the way. There. Give it a pull. I'm going to retrace my thread path. So I'm going to go up through the 3 15/0s that I just put on. There. Give it a pull. I'm going to go back through my Amos and back through my 11/0. Okay, so I've basically just gone round in a big circle so that I can get that 11/0 on and get to the space that I want it to be. Now I just need to give that a bit of a pull. Okay, so now I'm going to add one of my 3mm beads here, and I'm going to go through the 3 15/0s that are already there on the bead above. Okay, so just so that I can get myself into the right place, and then I'll show you what I have. Now your bracelet will still be a bit floppy, and don't worry about that because it's going to be a bit floppy until we reinforce it with all of the 15/0s and the 3mm that we're going to put on. Hi Gail, hi Jenny, thank you for joining us. Hi Rachel. So now we're going to be putting on a selection of beads. Just let me have a little look at my pattern. 3 15/0s, so 1 2 3, followed by not 4, it's not your turn yet. I'll show you what I've got on my needle. 3 15/0 beads plus one of my 3mm rounds. Okay, and I'm going to go through the last 15/0 in my next row of 3. Okay, so if I hold that up, I'm going to go through the last 15/0 in my next row of 3. Okay, and give it a pull, and you'll see if it looks right or not, because if I put it down, it adds a little halo around that lovely Amos bead there. Now you're just going to continue to do that to the other end. So we're going 3 15/0s, 1 2 3, one of our 3mm, so that's what I have. Drop it down, and then I'm going to go through the furthest away from me, the last 15/0 of that row of 3. So you'll find that it's still a little bit floppy. Don't worry about that, it's supposed to be. Now it's at this point that you're going to have to watch your tension, because if I pull that really tight, everything starts to sort of not behave itself and it's not smooth anymore. So just a gentle pull with your tension so that you're not seeing any thread, but not too tight so that the beads are starting to stick up and not fit comfortably together. So I'm going to do that one more time. I'm going to pick up 3 of my 11/0s and 1 of my 3mm and go through the last 15/0 in my row. So you will continue to do that to the end of your bracelet. Now I've got a baby bracelet that I'm showing you there, but if I show you on the actual bracelet, you'll see that you're going all the way up one side with that embellishment, and then you have to come down the other side as well. So when you get to the end there, I'm going to just pull my stop bead out of the way. You're going to go through the top hole of your Amos bead. You're going to add on your second 11/0, which is for your clasp on the other end, and go through the top hole of the 11/0 next to it. So you're just placing an 11/0 between the two end Amos beads, and you'll see that in the instructions a little bit clearer because it shows you the thread path. You've got photographic insurance. What am I saying? Photographic instructions, not insurance, as well as written. So if I just show you there, it shows you the thread paths. Can you see the arrows? And I sort of circled things and written it in my own language to continue. Now you need to continue adding your embellishments. Oh, Laura says she loves this pattern, and Gail, the weather is cooling off. It's fall there. I love fall. I love autumn. Okay, so what we're going to do is turn it the other way, and we're going to start to put the embellishment on the other side. And all we do here is we reverse the embellishment. So just let me have a look. Yeah, so this time you pick up, hold on, just let me have a look. Exit through the Amos picture, pick up 1 round 350. Yes, right. So we're going to, this time we're going to pick up a round first. So we're reversing what we did on the other side. So 1 round, and we're going to pick up 3 15s if they behave. They're getting further and further away from me. So this is what I have on my needle, 1 round and 3 15s. So we've reversed it to go up the other way, and we're actually going to go through the first 15-0 in the next row here. Okay, so just pulling that there, and that's how we're going to continue. So we're going to pick up 1 round and 3 15-0s, 1 2 3, and we're going through the first 15-0 in the row of 3 that we come to in the next row of 3. So essentially just reversing this embellishment on the other side. And once again, be really careful with your tension here. You just want to, that's my doggies barking, someone at the door. You just want to, again, be very careful with your tension. If you pull that thread too much, your beads will stick up, and you want that lovely smooth tactile finish, so not too much with the tension. And again, I'm going to pick up 1 of my 3mm and 3 of my 15-0s, and I'm going to go through the first of my 15-0s in the group of 3 ahead of me, and that is literally all there is to it until you get to the other end, so that you end up with a lovely pretty length of your beads. Now if I get our actual one here and show you, you've just reversed the embellishment up one side, down the other side. Now when it comes to adding in your clasp, in the instructions it tells you to get a thin jump ring. So if I hold that up, if you can see it, to get a thin jump ring and just put it through that 11-0 so that you can add your clasp, and you most certainly can do that. I didn't have a jump ring thin enough to go through there, so I used an alternative method which I'll show you, but it's completely up to you how you finish this off. So just let me pop my needle onto this one. Are there any questions while I'm doing this? You can download a free copy of the pattern, and it is in the chat at the moment, and you just add it to your basket and check it out, and you don't pay anything for it, and then you can download it afterwards to keep forever and ever, or you can print it off. That's completely up to you. Okay, so instead of putting the jump ring through, what I did was, let me find a jump ring. So whether you're going to add your jump ring or your clasp, I just exited through my 11-0 that's on the end there, on both ends between our Amos beads, so just exiting that 11-0 there. And then what I did was I just picked up a 15-0, my clasp or my jump ring depending on which end you're working on, and another 15-0, and then I just went back through that 11-0 again through the other direction, like that. Okay, so that pops on my clasp on my jump ring, and then I would go back and reinforce that once again. So I would go through my 15, through my clasp or my jump ring, and back through my other 15. I'll probably do that 2 or 3 times, because I always think your clasp is your weakest point, because that's the bit that you tend to use. And then you just need to tie in your threads. So you just, depending where you want to go, you can go back through your work, weaving back and forward. You can tie some half hitch knots to actually weave that thread in. If you're not sure what a half hitch knot is, you just pop your needle under the thread that's already there, like that, making a loop, and then you just take your needle through that loop and pull it down, making a knot, and then hide it inside your bead like so, and just continue working that through your work until you've finished off your thread. And then obviously you'd need to repeat that on the other side for the other side of your clasp. And once again, the pattern says to pop on a little thin skinny jump ring through that 11/0, or I've just added a 15/0, my clasp, and a 15/0, but it's completely up to you how you want to add that clasp. And then you end up with a really lovely, pretty bracelet. So that's the turquoise colourway, it's so lovely. And then this is the other colourway. Let's get rid of the dog hair. That's the other colourway. What's the colourway is this? It's called the Aster bracelet. So this is the other colourway, and then you'll have a few beads over. But once again, you can make it as long or as short as you like. So the pattern does call for 44 beads, and you get much more than that. So you can make it longer or you can make it shorter. So let me just pop these down here so that you can have a look at them side by side. So the only thing really to watch is your tension. Don't pull it too tightly so that your beads sit lovely and flat there. Are there any questions while I'm here? Oh, you're very welcome, Marissa. Now, if you do want to purchase the kit that I've used today, there are links in the chat, or you can go to sportrottenbeads.co.uk and you'll see everything there that you need. So if you don't have your beading thread or your needles or your sharp scissors or even your thread zapper, anything that you think you might need, you can purchase everything there online. Maybe you want to do this with some of the beads that you already have at home and just add some other bits in. You can do that as well. Now let me just bring you back here. Hello. So you will be getting, as I said before, this free pattern from Puka. There it is. And you will be getting your written and your photographic instructions there for that. And you can print those off. Just add them to your basket when you add your components. Let's see if there's any questions. It is really pretty, isn't it? I can't take any. I can't take the gratitude for this because I didn't design it. But it's such fun to make, really fun, and it's not going to take you a really long time either. It's a pretty quick. Like, it's very satisfying when you pull those little 15/0s, when you put that embellishment on and you pull the bracelet in and you make that beautiful tactile sort of flat, lovely sort of design, and it's ever so comfortable. So you could certainly adapt that. I was thinking, my daughter's into chokers, apparently they're big next season. I was thinking it might be nice for a choker. If you bought 2 packets of the Amos beads, you'd be able to have a choker to match, which I think would be really, really pretty. And the movement, like Christine said, it's the movement, it's very tactile, very soft. I was wearing this yesterday because I like to just wear it after I've made it so that I can tell people what it feels site just to make sure that it wears nicely, and I forgot that I was wearing it. So I'm thinking possibly I will order some to make a choker for Daisy, my daughter, because I think she'd really, really like that. So if you do make this or anything else that you make, we've got a lovely group called Spot Rotten Beaders on Facebook, and everybody's so helpful there with their knowledge, and everybody shares their makes, and it's lovely. So if you do make anything, please do bob onto there and pop it in, because we love to see what you're making. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, and then you won't miss out on any of the free tutorials. Thank you so much for joining me. Choker, yeah. So I think a choker and a bracelet would be lovely. You know, we're coming into the holiday season, so just, you know, if you're going out or you've got an outfit, I think a choker and a bracelet to match would be really, really pretty. You could certainly do that. You just need to pop an extra one of the Amos beads into your basket, and then you should have enough for a choker and a bracelet. Any more questions before I go? Oh, thank you, Jeanette. You're very, very welcome. It's lovely to be here with you. And don't forget to check out all of the products and everything that I've used today on the Spot Rotten Beads website. And I will see you again very, very soon. But until we meet again, happy beading. Take care. I'll see you again very soon. Mwah! Bye.